Hello, my name is Miss Jones. I teach elementary school math, and welcome to my channel, Miss Math Jones. Today, we're going to be going over our third grade Eureka Module 3, Lesson 15 homework. Let's get started. So our objective for today is to recognize patterns in multiplication and division using units of 0 and 1. So for number 1, we have letters A through L. And there are some rules for multiplying and dividing by 1 and 0, which we see over here on the right-hand side. So first, any number times 1 is that number. We have to remember that. So an example is 5 times 1 is 5. So any number times 1 is that number. The next rule we need to remember is that any number divided by 1 equals itself, and any number divided by itself equals 1. For example, 5 divided by 5 equals 1, and 5 divided by 1 equals 5. The third rule is that 0 divided by any number is 0. That also works for multiplication. 0 divided by or multiplied by any number is 0. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start with A. A is 4 times 1. And 4 times 1 equals, if you said 4, you are absolutely correct. B is 4 times 0. And 4 times 0 equals, if you said 0, you are absolutely correct. Let's look at C. Blank times 1 equals 5. Well, remember, any number times 1 is that number. And if you look at our example, then you should know that the number that's going to go on the blank is, and if you said 5, you are absolutely correct. Let's look at D. Blank divided by 5 equals 0. If you said 0, then you are correct. 0 divided by 5 is 0. Let's look at E. 6 times blank equals 6. If you said 1, you are correct. F says blank divided by 6 equals 0. If you said 0, you are correct. Let's look at G. 0 divided by 7 equals, if you said 0, you're correct again. 7 times blank equals 0. If you said 0, you are correct. 8 divided by blank equals 8. Look at your rules over there. If you said 1, then you are absolutely correct. J, blank times 8 equals 8. If you said 1, you are correct. Let's look at K. 9 times blank equals 9. If you said 1, you are correct. Let's look at L. 9 divided by blank equals 1. Look at your example over there for your rules. If you said 9, then you are correct. 9 divided by 9 equals 1. Now, how many of these did you get correct on your own? All right, we have completed this page. Now, go ahead, well, this part of the page. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so on this page, right, we have some markers that look like dry erase markers on one side, and then on the other side we have some displays on easels. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to match each equation with its solution. Now remember our rules for multiplying and dividing by 0. Again, the first rule says that any number times 1 is that number. For example, 5 times 1 equals 5. The next rule says any number divided by 1 equals itself, and any number divided by itself equals 1. For example, 5 divided by 5 equals 1, and 5 divided by 1 equals 5. And the last rule says 0 divided by any number is 0. And I'm going to add to that and say 0 divided by or multiplied by any number is 0. All right, those rules are on the side to help you. Let's go ahead and start solving. So we're going to start by solving all of the equations on this side, and then we're going to match them with the dry erase markers on this side. Okay, let's look at the very first one. 9 times 1 equals, well, if you said 9, you are correct. Then we're going to draw a line from 9 to 9. Okay, let's solve the next one. Blank times 1 equals 6. If you said 6, you are correct. 6 times 1 does equal 6. And we're going to draw a line from here to here. Okay, let's look at the next equation. 7 divided by blank equals 1. Now remember, any number divided by itself equals 1. So it's 7 divided by 7 equals 1. I'm going to draw a line from here to the 7. Okay, the next one says 1 times blank equals 8. 1 times what equals 8? If you said 8, you are correct. And we'll draw a line from the 8 to 8 here. Okay. The next equation is blank divided by 8 equals 0. Well, look at our rules. If you said 0, you're absolutely correct. 0 divided by 8 equals 0. So we're going to draw a line from here to here. The last equation says 9 divided by 9 equals blank. Well, the only number left is 1. So if you said 1, you're absolutely correct. 9 divided by 9 is 1. Draw a line from here to 1. Now I'm going to pause for a moment just to make sure that you're able to match up all of your equations and their answers with the dry erase markers. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to get that down. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our homework. Okay, now number 3 says, let question mark, right here, let question mark equals 8. So every time you see a question mark, that equals 8, okay? Every time you see a question mark, that equals 8. Determine whether the equations are true or false. The first one has been done for you. Question mark times 0 equals 8. So that's the same thing as saying 8 times 0 equals 8. Okay, and that's false. 8 times 0 does not equal 8. 8 times 0 equals 0. So that's definitely false. Let's look at the next one. 0 times question mark. Remember, the question mark is 8. So that's the same thing as saying 0 times 8 equals 0. And that's true. Okay. 8 times 1 equals 8. Because remember, the question mark is 8. So 8 times 1 equals 8. Well, that is true. Let's look at D. 1 times 8 equals 8. That's also true. 1 times 8 does equal 8. Okay, let's look at E. 0 divided by 8 equals 8. Let's look at our rule. The rule, the very last one, says 0 divided by any number is 0. So that's false. 0 divided by 8 should be 0. Okay, let's look at F. 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Well, let's look at our rule. It says any number divided by itself equals 1. And 8 is being divided by 8. And that equals 1. So that is true. All right, let's look at G. G says 0 divided by 8 equals 0. Well, E and G are the same, right? But the only difference is for E, it was false. For G, it's actually true. 0 divided by 8 is 0. And finally, let's look at H. 8 divided by 0 equals 8. That's false. That should be 0 or unidentified. All right. Hopefully you got most of those true. Now, if you did not get those true or correct, then that's okay because the information is right here in front of you. And so you can go ahead and check your answers against mine. And so I'm going to give you a little bit more thinking music to go ahead and write your answers down to make sure yours matches mine. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our homework. Number 4. Number 4 says, Rajan says that any number multiplied by 1 equals that number. Rajan is correct. He is. It says, write a multiplication equation using n to represent Rajan's statement. So instead of writing the number, you're going to write n. So n times 1 equals n. So basically you're saying that any number, n is any number, multiplied by 1 equals that number. All right, let's see what we have to do for B. B says, using your equation from part A, let n equals 5, and draw a picture to show that the new equation is true. Okay, so now we're replacing n with the number 5. So we're going to write 5 times 1 equals 5. All right, and it says to draw a picture to show that the new equation is true. So we can use rows times columns. So we have 5 rows, 1 column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and 1 column. 5 rows times 1 column equals 5. That's true. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part of our homework. What? Lesson 15 homework is complete. Congratulations. You did an excellent job. I'm so excited that we're done, and hopefully this helped. So let's draw you a little smiley face here because you completed your homework, and he's happy. All right, so I will see you next time. Hope you have a great rest of your day.